Okay. Mm-hmm. Round 2. Okay, but I do have to take a break. I just had to start a stream to get it reconnected. Yeah, I think if you have a hiccup in the internet and the stream doesn't receive data for at least maybe like 10-20 seconds, YouTube just assumes that you fucked off and it's like, yep, well, just ending the stream now. I don't want to do anything there. So, cool. Well, it's 8. Is it 8:18? It is indeed 8:18. It is not yet time to call it. I want to experiment with a few more things. Okay, so let me do this. Let me do a quick break. 10 minutes. I'll come back and we'll do some more funsies. I want to do another trim sheet experiment, but this time without fucking it up. Cool beans indeed. Cool beans and hot pockets. Okay. There we go. Perfect. So, what do I gotta do here? We have this rim here that definitely needs to have some sort of a design to it. We can definitely use a trim sheet if we don't balls the trim sheet up here. But it would probably just be perfectly fine as a single texture. This right here needs a trim sheet. The walls and the concrete could probably be separate textures. I don't even know how I would be able to pull off a trim sheet on these. Right. Okay. So let's try this. Actually, could I just use this? Let me see. I hide this. And then we add a bunch of rust from the top. Graveyard shift. Well, that sucks. Okay. So this is what I'm generally looking at. This might be okay. This isn't really a trim sheet. This is just a regular tile texture. So I guess we just put it here. Metal. What is it called? Building bevel sheet metal. Okay. I would like to generate the maps. I think this is going to be much easier. Okay. Specular. Did we not generate the what is it? Did we not generate a roughness, but make it use this map. And then we would just flip it. No, it's got a bunch of stuff on it. Okay. Well, actually, hold on a second. If I delete this map and then tell this to invert colors, would it not technically do that? Let's see. PBR. Oh, RMA. It looks like RMA is the combined map one. We have a preset for ORM though. Okay, normal. Roughness is this one, but flipped. Metalness, we don't have one. And then I need to drag this over. Yeah, I think we definitely need a metallic map. It looks like garbage. Yeah, what else are we missing? Create albedo texture and automatically generates maps based on albedo. Yes. So you get your normal. It's basically the other app that I showed you, MindText. But MindText doesn't make roughness and metallic. It does specular and glossiness. You have to invert those maps. This one seems to be able to do both. I just need to figure out what's happening here. $29 seems like a fair price for it. Yeah, it's a reasonable enough to give me the opportunity to test it. There is another one called Materialize, which is free, but once again, it's meant for Unity. I don't know if it does metallic or metallic and roughness. Okay. Trying to figure out what's happening here. Convert to grayscale from color map. Okay. So anything else? Uh-huh. So color flip does something to it. What is a specular? Okay. Metalness. I guess we'll do roughness right here. this. We do need this. It's not masked, so that wouldn't change anything. Instead of hard light, let's do normal. Beautiful. Where did my pixels go? Roughness map, get texture, uses a color map as input. Okay, I can see the faint details. Oh, well, it would help if I actually assigned the roughness map. There we go. The input range, this is just like levels in a painting program to try to crush the colors. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Alright, so now we get something. Okay, and then on the normal, we can do... These are low details, so I want the high details. I mean, I see the crusty bits get a little milder. Ooh, sharpen. That gives us some detail. Does a great job only using albedo. Indeed. Okay. That looks pretty decent. Let me double check what this accepts. Normal RMA map. Okay. Delete that. What does this take? Specular. Don't need this. Specular. Yep. Specular. Okay. I think this will do. We don't have a emissive map. Don't need it. This is going to go assets, textures, painted. And what about you? You don't know where to go. Okay. This isn't really a trim sheet. This is just... what's it called? Building, bevel. There we go. Rough, and then... oh, we don't want TGA. We want Bunga. Actually, yeah. I suppose it's going to be a color anyways, just every channel is the same. And what about you? You know where to go? You don't. Okay, the rest of you know where to go. Yes. Assets, textures, painted. Actually, let me see if I can get the ambient occlusion map in a bit of a better presentation. Okay. Don't have any special effects. Interesting. There seems to be something else being applied to it, but I can't see what it is. Oop. Input range should be left untouched, because it's just the output range. Well, the input range is for crushing the blacks and the whites. This is your basic, like, levels slider. Maybe that's just the way the ambient occlusion algorithm works here. We do have a pretty soft map, so there wouldn't really be that much to go on. on what should be the ambient occlusion. Alright, fair enough, that's fine. Let's see here. So this looks good. Can we export? I don't know if these are just previous sliders. Environment scale. They might be. Okay. This is gonna export. It's gonna export something. I think it's gonna export to the same folder as where the base color map is sitting, which was right here. Yeah, I see the ambient occlusion. Right, okay. So this is something we have to keep in mind. It's going to export the textures in the same folder as the base map. And it's probably not even going to export the base map itself, because you already have the base map. Okay. Going to save the project so we can change the location. Assets, textures, painted. Cool. Okay, so now logic dictates. Delete those. Tell these maps where to go, which it says it's going to be in the engine. We don't want it in the engine. Oof. Set it to the wrong folder before. If I do this. Oh, that just closes it. Ah. Interesting. Not the most streamlined process, telling it where to save and what the name should be. But it is what it is. Okay, so now we have a folder. It's got nothing in it. Save. I see metallic rough. But the other ones, it's still saved here. Yeah, because that's where the project was created. Alright, fair enough. So we'll just have to make sure we create a folder before we go on actually opening up the file and editing it. Not a bad deal. I think I might start working in Substance Designer though. I think Substance Designer can generate these maps from the base color. Okay, what is this called? This is called... Oh, really? Huh. I already made a folder for that. So, metallic, roughness, normal. We don't need displacement. You set up custom output material with automatic naming and batch export folder. Maybe. We have this, which takes RMA map, roughness, metallic, ambient occlusion. We have ORM, so slightly reversed names, but if I make a extra preset in the texture importing plugin, then we'd be able to import these as well. So it does have support for it. I'm not entirely sure about it has Lua scripting, so maybe through that you can do it. But yeah, it doesn't look like you can set up a new material preset from here. Can't have everything be substance level of detail. Okay. Right, so before we go on to that, we need to actually map this thing. Oh, why is this a mesh? Nice. How does it not do ORM, ARM? Well, I think it's just a different standard. RMA, it's just roughness, metallic, ambient occlusion. I mean, what is a standard, really? If there was such a thing as a standard, Unreal and Unity would also be using the same exact maps. Okay, what is this? Is this... Yeah, that's just like a cube. Just reading the docs on this software. Okay. We could just get away with doing this. Okay. Not sure what's happening with the S over there. No. There we go. Gonna have to settle for a slightly smaller bevel. Oh. Right. That might be a bit. Allows users to override default batch naming as well as default project file names for generated maps. To override default file names, must locate the edit the file. Huh. Well, that's useful. Okay. So that works. I'm gonna duplicate, convert to mesh, and then drop that into the text. Hide this. And we got retopo text. Let's just do adaptive. $2K. It's not perfect. I think it's fixable. Unless before doing so, we should, that's right. Should merge the vertices, because they're all separated, and then quad remesh it. There we go. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay, and then bottom, same thing. Merge by distance. Remesh. You could make the text resolution worse because it's high up. Oh, you mean the resolution of the texture? Yeah, potentially. Might have to give it more geometry to work with. This overlap here is not doing us too many favors. Okay. Hopefully that's a nice compromise. It's not really. This damn letter S. Giving us too much shish. Okay. If this works, at least on that front, which it sort of kind of did, still got a few issues, but we'll keep it the way it is, and we'll fix it once it gets to texturing, because we still have to UV map it. Just talking about the mesh itself. You know what? Hold on a second. You're a genius. I could have these as just flat planes. But then we don't have the dimension to it. We also don't really need the dimension to it. Oof. Okay. Man. If you decrease the res mesh, it's gonna work better. Actually, that could pretty much work out. Oh, well, why don't we just keep it like this? It's perfect. Simplest solutions. Okay. Bottom P has no center cutout. Yeah, we kind of lost it a little bit during the remeshing phase. So I could potentially just borrow this one, because funny enough, the simple decimate did a better job than retopologize. Quad remesher. Good eye though. There we go. Okay, so this guy is not... It's not a piece of geometry. I'm gonna duplicate that. Move the collection, do not export. And now this. We can do this first. Convert to mesh. Would have been interesting if we could convert to mesh but keep the modifiers. Try adding a weighted normals modifier to the curved roof. Why? That looks like ass. I don't think it's designed for my type of topology. Okay. This is the most visible part of the whole texture, so we'll probably make a cut right here. Okay, and then what do we do here? We gotta square this thing up. Oh, yes. Okay, well, that's basically what I was thinking. It would be nice if we could flip this piece, which we could do if we were to place seam right there. Okay, we have a bit of a repetition, but that's okay, because we're going to have some vines and overgrowth. That is a-okay. Most of these back pieces are not going to be visible, except for if the player manages to get up on the rooftops, and then they will just see this. Yeah. Now that is what I expected to see from a trim sheet. Fallout 3 Red Rocket vibes. It's basically what this whole thing was inspired by. Oh, moved the wrong thing. Imagine placing a battery and the sign starts glowing with the neon outline. That would be funny. Nice. Okay. Okay, now that's pretty good. Could hypothetically squeeze in an alternate version of this. A very pale teal version. That could work. I think you could just use same exact maps. Okay, now before this guy. Mother trucker, come on. Hello, how's it going? It's going pretty well. What happens if you just, for example, have 512 maps and stack them vertically on top of each other to create 1024 by 512? Technically, yes. You would do that, and then all of those objects would only use one material, which helps with draw calls. Because every object, every mesh that has a separate material would have a separate draw call. Okay, that doesn't seem like it's following active quads. Well, actually, it does. It just never fixed the active quad. There we go. Mm-hmm. Which is more expensive, having more draw calls or dealing with large textures? Well, what you've mentioned, so far we've been using up to 2K maps. So, dealing with one 2K map that has like 4 1080, well, maybe not 4. Yeah, like 4 512 maps, that would be pretty reasonable. Okay. I think the biggest issue that I have is the repetition. The obvious repetition. Maybe this is just my pet peeve, but repetition just looks cheap. And yet, I don't think I believe I've ever paid attention to anything that has repetition in the games that I've played. Could hide that with decals and some foliage. Yes, I know. My general approach to these sort of things is that if it takes extra work, try to fix it before it needs extra work. Also, this seems like it's not even mirrored properly. And it is, in fact, not. That's much better. New title of streams, maybe? Rust devlog. I mean, not too far off from it. Okay. Now this top detail worked out, I'd say, pretty well. I think I might have forgotten to place some sort of panel, like metal panels with rivets. An indication that this isn't like a single long-ass piece of metal. But have simple noise texture as detail with triplanar mapping. Yeah, that would also help. For sure. Okay. One more issue with trim sheets and having multiple materials is that placing ambient occlusion deposits and dust deposits would have to be done using shader. Or maybe a secondary UV map where all of the ambient occlusion data would be baked. So yeah, the base map is like triplanarly or repeatedly mapped, but the ambient occlusion is custom UV mapped and maybe using UV Packmaster. Okay. Now, while we are here, we could technically do this guy. Yeah. I have a bit of skewing here. Huh. Yeah. That works. Again, I don't think anyone's gonna mind the repeating. Cool. Rust devlog. Oh, yo, man. Clickbait, fake advertising, fake news. That's what it's going to sound like. Okay. Everything that we have here is, I think, good. Good to export. We don't have the rest of the texturing. Whoops. I have just remeshed something. Don't want to do that. Models, locations, arcade mode, pit stop station. Man, I've done about like 5 variations of vines, but I think I still need to work out a better looking algorithm. Fan on the laptop just randomly spun up the jet engine speeds. Left Windows and its background tasks. Ah, yes. Sorry, I'm mining some crypto on your computer. Or I should say, I'm using your computer as a render farm. No wonder this shit takes forever to export. Goddamn, Zoltan, can you fix up your shit? Try to get some work done here. Your shitty work environment is costing me hours. In-game dialogue suggestion. Pete's Pit smells kind of funny. Smells kind of funny, but they've got good cheese. Nice. Okay. So, oh, we got. Whoa. Hello. Okay. Apply modifiers should be pretty much guaranteed. So visible collisions or visible objects, placeholder material, apply modifiers. Oh, look at that. Now it did it quickly. Pete's Pit sadly fallen into disrepair. It's seen better days. He needs an uplift. Okay, we might have to use double-faced material there. Okay, is it fixed? Almost. I still see two of the borders. Why? There is only one. Is there only one here? Maybe it's because it has a different name? Nope, there's only one here as well. Experience rapid, unscheduled corporate refactoring. Alright, I think it's fine. Use standard material. Okay, so this is building sheet metal. Albedo. Is there by any chance a way to disable this? When you drag your mouse over the object, it tries to temporarily apply the material over the mesh. Because, believe it or not, that does cause a stutter every time I drag the map over the 3D screen. Like, I am never using this feature at all. Rough. Nice. Hey! Now that's looking pretty good. Metallic. Nice. And then that's it. We didn't export anything else. And we have an alt version of this. So, just gonna copy this. Save as. Trim sheets. Jeez. I mean, technically this would be... I'll store it in the trim sheets, even though it's not a trim sheet, but painted seamless. That's why you move the window to the right, so they're next to the inspector. That makes sense. Okay, let's save as. This metal alt. Let's go to Albedo. The metal alt is supposed to be this one. Cool, but quick load. We don't want the alt here. We want the alt there. And want the alt here. Education is important, but race car is importanter. Me fail English, but that's impossible. Oh yeah. That looks like a hot turd that has been left out in the sun. It's very glistening. Actually, as a matter of fact, the entire screen is very glistening. I think that's our post-processing shader. It's like doing some wild stuff. Enemy distortion strips. Okay, I'm gonna hide this. And I'm gonna pray that I do not forget that I hit it. Actually, that's not something I can hide. I can hide this. Dev viewport container, that's hidden. Shader. That's hidden. FPS view. That's fine. Might be with the environment node. Let me double check. The specular of direct light. Interesting. Disabling the shader didn't really help that much. We still have a bit of glistening happening. We have this. Well, we don't have any. What do I call it? Any filtering. Rendering. Anti-aliasing. That's it. Oh, we do have it enabled. But the quality is missing. Screen space, ambient occlusion. We'll ignore that for the time being. Okay. Yeah, the spectral of the direct light is alright. Might tone it down. Use TA. That will sort it out. Got it. It's a little bit better. Not great. Okay. Temporal anti-aliasing. TA has issues with Terrain 3D. Oh boy. Isn't that lovely? Well, let's see what kind of issues. You'll notice ghosting in the editor, though. I'll also notice a... Oh, frame rate drop? No. Ah, okay. It gets a little blurry when there's motion. Actually, everything just became jittery. This is suddenly a very high-resolution PS1 game. Oh god. That's not any better. It's just a different kind of blech. Okay. still have this issue. Sometimes I switch inventory slots too fast. You have VSync. It's a miracle your PC is still working. Yes, I know. Oh god, loading materials. Yeah, you know what? Okay, we'll work with this for the time being. Okay, well, we have experimented with texture creation. I'd say it worked out relatively well. What the? It's a jiggly physics. Look at that. Alright, we'll have to sort that out. Oh, God, no, I closed it. A flap of rust blowing in the wind. I don't think that's something you want to hear about Pete's Pit. A lot of people hate TAA. It nukes edge highlights, and ghosting is another issue. I noticed that when there's movement, the sharp textures become a little bit blurry. Now again, I might want to open up some of the AAA games. Like, I would use Batman Arkham Knight as a standard. I would use Fallout 4 as a standard for something like this. And see how things look on their front. If it looks the same, then, nah, whatever. Pete's Cheesy Pit, you know. Try cheese crust stuffed doughy goodness at Pete's cheese. I don't know. You're gonna make some video on Angler. When I will be working on Angler, yes. Okay. Okay, we're at 1 hour mark. It's almost 10 o'clock. I may or may not want to wrap it. But I also wanted to mess around with bushes. Bushes, maybe make some road signs. Also, Pete's Pit, when you read it from the road, doesn't really read very well. Although it depends on what's the entry point. Be like this. We're basically making Automacon at this point. Automacon prototyping. I mean, I did mention everything that we're doing here is going to be like a testing ground for figuring it out for Automacon, so yeah. Okay, not bad. You know what? Today is only Tuesday. It's only one of 3 days that we're working on this. Why don't I maybe wrap it up here? And then we'll continue tomorrow. Not bad. Good additions. Every time I implement something, your game breaks. Welcome to game development. Please take a seat. We'll be here a while. Good stuff. Alright, that's it. Have a good one.